The purpose of our gathering is to share the stories, to help inform and educate, and maybe to entertain a little bit. We invite you afterwards if you have questions. That's what we're here for. But right now we are here to remember the real service of the real people that did what we are pretending to do this weekend. I would ask the garrison to be at rest. Civilian gentlemen not in uniform to remove your headdress. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. I'll ask each of the participants to fire one round in tribute, beginning with the Revolutionary War. Flash in the pan is better than no flash at all. 1812. Hey, ready? Hit! Hot! Your arms. 1812 U.S.
17th U.S. Take ready. Cock shoulder. Take aim, incline high. Fire. Recover.
Civil War.
Shoulder arms.
9th Michigan. Ready. At extreme elevation, aim. Fire!
Great War.
Ready? We done? Fire.
Second War.
Clear.
Good. Other arms, stand at ease.
The King's Royal Regiment of New York. The regiment raised for the American Revolution on the British side by Sir John Johnson. Not going to get into a whole lot of details because a lot of the equipment is the same as a lot of the other fellows. The difference is the coat. I'm with the British Army, but I'm wearing green. Green is the provincial color of New York. The collar and cuffs, and all the facings are blue as per a Royal Regiment. The cap, you're used to seeing this. When you think American Revolution, this is what you're thinking, right? They later removed all the lace because it's too easy to spot. And when somebody can get a bead on you, it's not very good.
The Royal Scot Light Infantry Company. With most British regiments, when they had the word royal in it, that would explain the blue cuffs and the blue collars.
Basically, what he's representing is a soldier in the British Armed Forces. He's obviously wearing the red coat, therefore he's what we would call his regimentals. Now they were actually issued two coats. His regimentals, which was the red coat with the lacings and the buttons and they're what's known now as fatigues, which was a white coat with the facings of the regiment. They were issued, not only that, where they issued the red coat, they were also issued two pairs of pants. One gray, one white. The gray was basically what they would call their winter kit, so it was their winter pants. So they were also issued a brand new uniform every year. So once a year, as a gift from His Majesty the King, brand new, brightly red coat. So gave him the opportunity of taking all the stuff off of this old coat in case of repairs. The reason why I say that because each button he had to account for. Each brass he had to account for.
Tyler here to my left, wearing the standard U.S. issue uniform. It is a blue coat modeled roughly after the French, like all great inventions. Red collar and cuffs, lace buttons. Now he should, unfortunately, he has to hang his head in shame. He does not have the lacing on the front. The lacing was just decorative. It made him look bigger and tougher. He's also wearing a garrison cap rather than the shako, which I'm wearing. Smart him because this thing is a couple of pounds of leather. Earlier ones were made out of felt, but they would wear out quite a bit. So they started making them out of leather so they were a little more durable. He's wearing standard issue white pants and gaiters for his boots. He would actually wear shoes, not boots. So to keep the shoes from falling apart, we wear these gaiters. Now I'm wearing the standard white issue pants as well. You might notice that my jacket is not blue. It's also not very fancy. As these would wear out, they need to be replaced. Often they could not find the same color wool. So they found some gray wool and they started to make some gray jackets. As well as the fact that sometimes when the blue jackets were shipped, they were shipped to certain units and not other units. So some units had to do with whatever they
I am
had.
dressed in the U.S. Army summer uniform, which was issued to units south of the Potomac River, made of linen, much more comfortable than the wool at this time of year. And I'm not wearing a vest because I wasn't required to in this order of dress. There you go. The trouble was, this outfit was much cheaper than the wool, so they issued it to all the new regiments and all the new recruits. I am dressed as a sergeant. Sergeants and non-commissioned officers in the British Army and the Canadian militia were delineated by stripes on the sleeves. 2 for a corporal, 3 for a sergeant, 4 for a sergeant major, 1 simple line for chosen man, which became the lance corporal. In the United States Army, a corporal was given one of these epaulets on the right shoulder. A sergeant had one on each shoulder plus the red sash.
Got a few variants. Generally, they were all issued the same thing at the start of the war, but as things wore out, they were issued whatever was available. 9th Michigan fought in the Western Theater, which was what was then the western end of the U.S., so like Georgia and Tennessee and places like that. In the Western Theater, generally they preferred felt hats. It was a little more informal, a little more practical. In the Eastern Theater, the most prominent hat was the forage cap over here, and we have the kepi here, which was actually, as far as I know, not issued to anyone, but it was a private purchase item that you could buy yourself. I'm wearing a dress coat, which got the nickname the sweat box because it has a quilted lining, as you can see, which gives it its form, but does make it really warm. These two have the fatigue blouse, so the fatigue uniform. All of us have the sky blue trousers made of kersey. We have our leathers, our waist belt, our cap box, where we keep the percussion caps, and cartridge box. You guys both want to turn around so I can show the cartridge box? Yeah. So Tyler here has a more early war model, and Thomas has the late war model, which they replaced the brass box plate with an embossed US. These were only used very late in the war, in late 1864, early 1865. Thomas also has the double bag knapsack, which is the most common knapsack issued in the Union Army. It has a bag here where you keep your blanket, and you would keep a half of a tent. We have a few of them hung up in our camp. And then you have your rubberized ground sheet, and all your personal items go in here. On campaign, they would be expected to carry everything.
The Canadians, I represent a soldier of the First World War, or the Great War as it was originally called, before they had to start numbering them. Dressed or badged as a Royal Canadian Regiment. The insignia, both on the hat, I had been wearing a soft hat, and collar dogs, as well as the shoulder patches and the RCR insignia, all identified as that particular unit. Each unit, every regiment, obviously had different identification. I'm wearing a Brody helmet, which was introduced in 1916. They discovered that many of the soldiers were dying from head wounds that a simple steel helmet would have prevented. So they introduced that in 1916. Prior to it, they were all protected by 1/8 inch stout felt, which didn't offer any protection at all. Carrying the Lee Enfield, Number 1 Mark III, standard British issue. We started off with the Ross rifle, made in
Good
Montreal.
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Steve Smith. I'm a representative representing a sergeant of the German Army from 1939 to 1945. I'm wearing what they would technically call field gray. It's actually a greenish, grayish tinge. Originally, from the First World War, they had a straightly a gray type tunic, and they evolved into this kind of a lime grayish green, so they called it field gray in comparison to others. You'd have your helmet, 2 pouches, 3 pouches containing 10 rounds in each of the pouches, so a total of 60 rounds of ammunition that were issued to the individual. The buckle has the Wehrmacht. The rifle that I have is a standard K98 or Kutz 98, based on the 1891 model that was first issued during the First World War by Mauser, built by Mauser, and it's a short or carbine version. So the Kutz or the K actually indicates short or carbine rifle.